Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Lili Nishmas Imi Mirosi Ruspas Mordechai. VeHaKadosh Baruch Hu Matzileinu Me'avodah. VeHaKadosh Baruch Hu Matzileinu me'avodah. Rabbi Isai. So if you're in Chutz La'aretz and you're unaware of what is happening, so most of the people here, it's a tremendous zechus to see you here this morning. Most of the Olam didn't sleep much last night. I don't know about you. I got home last night at midnight, approximately midnight. There was a beautiful Olam. 30 people came for the 11 o'clock shir, knowing that there were missiles on the way. They already knew at that time the missiles on the way, and we had shir. Then you go on the news, you want to see what's going on. They're on the way, they're coming closer, they're getting shot down over Jordan, this, that. We went to sleep. I went to sleep at about 1:30. At 2 o'clock in the morning, there was a big explosion overhead. So we ran outside. I took this video. I'm only showing part of it. I'll let you hear part of it because the rest might be a little bit embarrassing to my wife, even the first part. But I want to show just the sheer fear of the Noshim Tzidkaniyos who live here. Maybe don't play it so loud. I took this video myself. The 2 videos I took myself. Here we go. Here, guys, it's up here. Okay. That's one. And this is also from the porch. This is just me and my son.
I missed it.
You didn't miss it. It's right above our house. It's all over Israel. It's crazy.
They said 2 o'clock. They're right on the dot.
2 a.m.
Oh, wow.
So if you notice, Rabbi Isai,
wake up the neighbors.
When I was by Reb Sruli Bornstein in his house, he had a picture of Rameir Shapiro and a picture of the Chassam Sofer. He's a big fan of the Chassam Sofer.
There's more.
So
that's a plane?
I don't want to go back, but if you look, you'll see on my porch I have 2 pictures. I have one of Rameir Shapiro and one of Reb Sruli. It's there. Here, here, it's coming down. You can see his head on the bottom. Here we go. That was not on purpose, but fine. With that being said, we are supposed to do a raffle right now when we have everything ready. Avrami told me that it's ready. I don't think it's the appropriate thing to do at this particular time. So we'll have to just push it off until things calm down. How many names do you have up there? Do you know? What? 2,500 entries. Are you really ready to do a raffle if we want to do a raffle this second? What? You did one? You did one like a mock? Oh, you turned it off. Okay. So kids say, no, we're not going to do one now. I don't think it's the right thing at this moment. I apologize. No, we'll just lock it in as is now. We'll just do it at a different time. Tonight is a special night. It's Avi Kamiansky's first chasana, his son Zevi. Yeah. No. Shoma Yore Yehuda. Oh, Bechutza, Oh, Shoma Yore Yehuda. Oh, Bechutza, Shkoya, one of a kind. And he's here this morning. I know he did it. Did you sleep last night? How much did you sleep?
2 hours maybe?
2 hours. Did anybody sleep more than 2 hours here? Did you even know about what was going on? They slept like babies through the whole thing. Yavaldik. You know, something that could have been very awkward. Your sister was sleeping by my house with her husband. We had to wake them up, and they come out, the pajamas, hacking, to be in the same amad is not so gishman. Baruch Hashem, not a single siren here in Bet Shemesh. I think in the rest of Eretz Yisrael, Yerushalayim did have, and Yerushalayim had sirens. Although these missiles were flying pretty close, they didn't feel it was a danger for us over here. So the way, again, just as a schedule, we could plan as much as we want. Doesn't mean that something's going to happen, but the plan is tonight at 8 o'clock here in the Beis Medrash, Daf Mem Zayin in English, and then at 9 o'clock, Daf Mem Zayin in Hebrew. The chuppah for the Kamianskis is before Shkia, so I'm hoping to be there for the chuppah, leave, give 2 shiurim, then Be'ez Hashem go back there. This is all planned. I have a flight a few hours afterwards to America. It doesn't look very good. So I might, listen, if that flight is canceled, I might just cancel the Daf Mem Zayin shir. Then I don't have to give it early. I could just give it tomorrow. Okay, so I'm just throwing it out there. Be open for this.
Canceled, you're going to have to go to America. You're just going to stay here. I thought that was
No, if my flight is canceled, I'm going to stay.
But you're going that direction.
The worst comes to worst, I'll give the shir twice.
America, got it.
Same jokes and everything. No, we're cutting out some jokes today. Not a whole lot of jokes. Actually, what are you laughing about? I didn't even say a joke yet.
Because Hashem loves us.
Oh.
I'm laughing because Hashem is protecting us.
Oh, Givaldi. Ashi, you know what? Let's switch. You sit here, I go over there. I'll laugh at your jokes today. You're saying more, you're saying better than I'm saying. He's saying Emes. And that's why he's laughing. He's laughing at Iran. They said 300 missiles and not a single one, Baruch Hashem. Okay. Welcome back, Zevi. Send regards to Mati. If you weren't here last night, the Belskis this year donated $20,000 worth of chairs. These are the costs. We had a quote of over $20,000. It's $20,000. Mati himself raised, I want to say, close to $70,000 for the campaign. So the whole Belsky family, close to $100,000 this year. Zevi said that he's going to fill in the gap, whatever's missing, to the 100. Hey, just kidding. All right, let's learn some Torah. Having a very good shmaka, huh?
Depends if I can get home to some more chairs.
Are you by yourself with the mishpacha? By yourself. You could join Avi's partners also by himself, and his family doesn't know if he's going to be there for Pesach or not. Great times, Rabbi side. But the daf continues as usual. It's unbelievable that the Olam is here. But seriously, I have to be here. I have to give a shir. But you guys sleeping after 2 hours, kol hakavod, because Baruch Hu loves you. Omer Papa. We're holding 5 lines in the bottom of Memhei Amud Beis. Oh, we got to do sponsors. Correct. Thank you. The Masech is sponsored by Anonymous for the safe and speedy return of all the hostages. The Parnas HaChodesh, Rafua Shleima, Elimlech ben Tzipora, Parnas HaChodesh, Nishma Zechariah ben Moshe, Zechariah bas Yosef, Parnas HaChodesh, Ahron Fraiman, it should be a zchus to Reb Eli for continued siyadta dishmaya and teaching Torah to Klal Yisroel. Amen. Parnas HaChodesh is Yosef Ben Chaya S for the zchusim that come from supporting limud HaTorah. Parnas HaChodesh, Binyomin Rosenfeld for hatzlacha in business and all my endeavours. Parnas HaYoim, happy birthday to Zelig, Farkovits, Mami, Tati, and Yisrael Dov. Parnas HaYoim, brain intact, unleash your full potential, should be zechus to nachas kedusha and tremendous success in all my endeavors. Art of the month, Anonymous for the zchus, for an easy childbirth for his daughter, and a healthy baby. So, Omar HaPapa. Afilu lemando Omar ein matbeya naase chalipin. There are 2 parts of chalipin. So let's do this. Okay, first, we'll start with this. This is the pasuk. Sholaf ish naloi. This is how chalipin works. That's fine. Zevi, I need you here. This is a real shoe. This is your shoe. And let's see, I have this. Okay, here's an orange. You want the orange. So give me the shoe. I go like this. I'm kind of this, and you are kind of lifted up, so it's in the frame. Okay. I took your shoe. That's what the Torah says to do. The Navi. Shalafish Nali. I take your shoe, and therefore you acquire this right off. You don't even have to take it. this becomes yours, just sitting over here. By me going like this becomes yours. Now, we had a machlokes last night. Rav and Levi, Chad Omar, Matbea Nasa Chalipin, Chad Omar, Matbea Nasa Chalipin. So it goes like this. Here, you take the, now, give me this. So if I go like this, instead of a shoe, if I lift these coins over here, or here, this is better. This is yours, give that to me. If I go like this, does this orange become his? If he gives me a shoe, that's in the pasuk. That's how it works. What if he gives me a coin? We had a machlokes, Rav and Levi, whether or not this works. Now we're talking about something else completely. It's the same, but very different. It's even if this does not work, by me taking this from him, he does not acquire this orange. It doesn't work, you're right. However, if I have this bag of money, instead of the orange, it's money. Now, could I take the shoe and go like this, and this bag of money becomes his? Two different things. Before we were talking about instead of a shoe, it's money. He's using money to do the chalipin. Over here, I'm saying, could the object that we're trying to transfer, could that be transferred even to this other person? Says Rav Papa, yes. Aknuim miknu b'chalipin. Again, even according to Mandoma, that I cannot use this coin instead of a shoe. You're right, it doesn't work for chalipin. But I could transfer money to somebody else through the kinyan of chalipin. By me lifting up the shoe, this bag of money will be transferred to. What's the difference if I transfer an orange or a bag of money? Now, the Gemara is going to tell us Rav Papa retracted this. It's not even true. So it's a big chiddush. You're saying, what's the chiddush? Well, it's just, what's the difference what I transfer? Yes, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Even Rav Papa said it doesn't work. Now, what's the Gemara's raya? Mididahava peiruler of Nachman. Just like fruit, according to Rav Nachman. Peiruler of Nachman, lav avagavdinu lo yavdi chalipin. Where's the orange? You have orange? No, here. This does not work according to Rav Nachman. If he gives me a fruit, it doesn't work. Why? Because the Torah says shoe. And it must be a shoe or a kli, and a fruit is not a kli. So this does not work as the object of transfer. At a wedding, what does the Rosh Hashiva usually do? He gives you a pen. He gives you a yarmulke. It's a kli. He gives some sort of stuff. But not a fruit. He won't give you a fruit. So let me ask you something. According to Rav Nachman, he cannot give me a fruit to transfer. But what if there's a box of fruit that I want to give him? And we're doing chalipin with, let's say, a sock. Here, got a sock. You need a sock? Give it to me. Does this work? Does the fruit go to him? Yes. He's just saying, Rav Nachman says he can't use this instead of a sock. He can't use this instead of a pen, a yarmulke. But for me to transfer to him a box of fruit, of course it works. Oh, so if a box of fruit works, then a box of money also works. What's the difference? Right? So not to get confused, there's two parts of chalipin. One is the object that we're using to create the kinyan, and one is the merchandise that I want to convey to the other person. Koine and nikna. Okay, koine and nikna, that could be even more confusing. But for those who understand koine and nikna, say it in English.
It can't buy, it could be bought.
Buy and bought. Okay, buy and bought.
Subject and object.
That's even better. Subject and object. I like that. The subject and object. Says the Gemara. According to Rav Nachman, you cannot use an orange, you can't use any fruit to the object. They're not the object over here. They're not. You cannot buy with it. But they can be bought. So too, currency, coins, there's no difference. You cannot use the coin instead of a pen, instead of a yarmulke, but you could. Here, the chassan is telling the kala, I'm going to give you money during our life together. So he's conveying money that becomes the, I don't know, okay, I'm confused. That's the object, the other one's not that. Fine. You could sell stuff with it. Okay, says the Gemara, here's a Moridik Sugya. Beisvei. So we're talking about Meiser Sheni. And when I keep on talking about Meiser Sheni, keep on showing this thing, but I never say the whole story. That in years 1, 2, 4, 5, a person has to, I did show this, but we have to continue. There's another very, very important piece over here. The piece is that when a person cannot carry all this fruit, so he transfers all the kedusha of the fruit, it's too heavy for him, he transfers it into a coin. Okay? He transfers the kedusha into a coin. Is that it? Is that the Siri? Just to lower the volume, it's fine. Don't worry about it. So if you transfer the kedusha into the coin, that works. I have $100 worth of fruit, I put into $100 worth of coin. Is that it? No. Just give shmak yashir. Just, you know what, maybe turn off the phone. Just time another eitzah. Hashmini is kerlech, he's saying. You heard that? He wants to be heard. Givaldik. Okay. You gotta add 25%. Whatever the amount of money that you're transferring, you have to add another 25%. Now that could add up to a lot of money, obviously. If a person has thousands of trees, this is what he does for a living, and he has 10%, he brings up to Meiser Sheni, and now he gets penalized for bringing the money up to Yerushalayim, has to add another 25%. There's a way out, very similar to Mechiras Chametz, and there's actually Mishnayos that tell you how to do this. It's a trick, it's trickery, and you're getting out of the 25%. How do you do it? Basically, the Torah says, "V'im goyel yigal ish mimas roy." It has to be your meiser, and if it's your meiser, chamishisa Yosef Olav, you add 25%. 20% when you're done, 25% to begin with. But it says mimas roy. If it's not your meiser, if it's your father's, your child, and you want to save your father the 25%, you redeem the meiser for your father. If you redeem it for your father, if you're my friend, and you see I'm about to incur this 25% loss, so you go ahead and you redeem it for me. You do the redemption, and later on, I'll give you the money behind the table. It's literally like similar, not. But the idea is similar to Mechiras Chametz. Everybody says, how can you do it? It's wrong. You're giving to the guy, you don't really mean it. Here, it's in the Mishnayos, the Tanoim said how to do it. There's a way to do it. There's two ways to do it, really. There's one way that Zev or Zevi? Zev. Whew. I was sure Zevi, by the way. There's one way that Zev uses his money. Wow, that's short-term memory there. Unbelievable. Zev uses his money and transfers the kedusha of my fruit without even telling me. He doesn't have to tell me. The kedusha of my fruit goes into his wallet, into his money. Now, what if he doesn't have money on him? I'm traveling up and it's, oh, Zev, here's a guy I could trust. He's a guy I could trust. So what do? I take all my fruit, take my 10% fruit, and I give it to him as a gift. Then I use my money and I redeem his gift. That's tricky, should be tricky. That's already trickier than the first one. What's better? What looks less tricky? When I have the fruit and he just does a redemption for me. But if I take all my fruit, my 10%, I give it to him as a gift. It's a gift, again a gift. I'm going to take it right back from him eventually. If I give him all my fruit as a gift, then I use my money to redeem his fruit, and when it's his fruit, I don't have to give 25%. I just give the actual value. He has $100 worth of fruit, $1 million worth of fruit, I take $1 million, and then I don't have to give the $250,000 penalty.
The fruit that you're giving is Meiser Sheni?
Yeah.
You're giving it as a present?
I'm giving my $1 million worth of Meiser Sheni, I give it to Zev Belsky. Then once you have it in your possession, I take my $250,000. It's a lot of money here. I'm trying to save the $250,000. I take it and I redeem, I take $1 million and I redeem your $1 million worth of fruit, but I save myself $250,000 added penalty on top of the $1 million.
How could you redeem his fruit?
Everybody could redeem anybody's. Exactly. That's why I said a son could redeem a father, a friend could redeem a friend.
So
yes. Yeah, I could take yes, I could. No, I'm doing myself a favor. It's my fruit.
But it's not. It's his.
Halachically it says it's Mechiras Chametz.
You have shtar?
No, we have an understanding. It's wink wink that I'm giving him $1 million worth of fruit, but he obviously is going to give it right back to me. He knows I'm not a nice guy like that. I'm not giving him $1 million worth of fruit. Why am I doing it? To save myself the $250,000 worth of Meiser Sheni. Then I have the wrong friend. I picked I know who my friends are. What did exactly? I picked certain people. You know what? I did it for him last year, and he's doing it for me this year. I did it for him yesterday. He does for me this. It's just a trick. It's called the mechira. It's harama. Trick. That's haram and trick is the same word.
First case was the same thing. I did his fruit without even asking him. How could I do his fruit without
Now, let's see inside. Rabbi side, the story gets more interesting. This guy loses his clothes. It's very, very interesting. Nobody cared when I said that. The guy is standing clothesless. You're going to see in a second. It's Mamash and Mari, the story. Meser. He's there in the threshing floor. He doesn't have money. So what are the two options? If he has money, he could give the money to his friend as a gift, and his friend will redeem it for him. But he doesn't have money. So Zev, here, all my fruit, they're yours. And then he says, I have money at home. I don't have money with me in my wallet, but I have money at home. And the money at home, it's going to redeem the fruit that I just gave you. I'm doing my friend a favor. I'm redeeming his fruit. Okay? Bye-bye. Now, wait a minute. Why don't I just give my money at home to Zev? Why am I giving him the fruit? The money that I have in my closet, I'm conveying it to Zev. How could I do that? With chalipin. I take Zev's yarmulke, I go like this. The money in my closet, doesn't have to be here, it could be anywhere in the world, belongs to him. Now that he has that money that belongs to him, he'll redeem my Meiser Sheni with that money. Why do I have to take all my fruit and give it to Zev? Now, the way to take money from my closet and give it is better halachically. It looks less of a harama, it looks less of trickery. Inside, Taima, the Imbi Yadim Mois. It's because I don't have money on me. If he does have money, Lidach says, no, the money is here, sorry, so maybe that's a little bit of a mistake. Zev should do a Mashicha, Uparik. The Hachi Adif. Okay, so if the money was here, we could do Mashicha, then he gets the money, and then he redeems it, Uparik, he'll redeem it. The Hachi Adif, this is a better way of doing it. Says Rashi, you want to see Rashi? Rashi says an interesting lashon of, it's not so much harama. The Hachi Adif, says Rashi, like 6-7 lines down, Sheina Niris Arma Kolkach. This trickery and this trickery. This is serious trickery. It's a shtick with a trick, and this is a shtick. Okay, whatever you want to call it. Shtick, a double shtick. This is a double shtick. First I convey him all the fruit, then I take money out of my own pocket and I do him a favor, I redeem his fruit. Okay, it's a little bit much. Because at the end of the day, Zev is a stranger here. He doesn't own any of this. But so what if I don't have the money over here in front of me? So it wasn't a mistake when I said it. It's not. So if I say that matbeya, that I could convey a box of money through chalipin, let Zev acquire all this money that I have in a different place, in the bank, let's say, in a different country, in Chicago, my money in Chicago should go to Zev here in Eretz Yisrael and Ramat Shemesh, through a kinyan of chalipin. So what do you see? The chalipin doesn't work for money. How come I can't convey my money to him? Because it doesn't work through chalipin. What other ways do we know that it could work? If I want to give you money, I have money in Chicago, I want to give it to you, Noam. How do I get it to you? There's no wires in those days. So something called kinyan agav. We know kinyan agav. Ask the Gemara. Nikdulei mois leich agav sudar. No, sorry. Nikdulei mois leich agav sudar v'lifroik. So the Gemara says, no, that's not a good raya. The Leslie sudar. Perhaps he doesn't have clothing. Now, obviously, he's talking about he doesn't have any clothing. Because let's say he's wearing clothes and he doesn't have a sudar to go like that. That's not a problem. You just have to go like this. You just have to grab on. If I go like this to Zev, that's enough. I don't have to give him something. It doesn't have to be loose. It can be on me and chalipin works. So the Gemara says he doesn't have clothing. He came to the threshing floor without clothing. Not only that, the other guy's also without clothing. It's a matzav. What?
How they do chalipin?
That's the point. There's no chalipin. The Gemara says, you know why you can't do chalipin? It's because the Leslie Sudar. That's why there is no chalipin. As the Gemara, v'nikninu nahalei agav karka. So here we have kinyan agav that we learned in Kiddushin. It works like this. So kinyan agav means all I need to do is give you a little tiny drop of my real estate. It could be the size of a pinhead. And because you own that piece of real estate, you also get movable objects with it, like cats, washing machines, stuff like that. So it goes together. Kinyan agav, together with, or this famous one that we did, this has funny noises. Huh? I don't think so. It was a mashu we learned. Even kimachat, huh? Okay, not today. Too much litzanah for today. I'm pretty sure we learned it was like the machat. Yeah, I think it was mamish before in the Gemara or something. But what? Yeah. Sham, she says yeah. Listen, the guy doesn't have any clothing, so obviously he doesn't have real estate. He has nothing. Oh, but it says he has a threshing floor. He's using somebody else's. Says the Gemara, for real? The Iqbal Tani, tell me this whole halacha, that how do I get out of the 25%? It's only halacha for a person, and how do I do it? The Mishnah says, I give you my fruit, and then I'm able to redeem it with the money I have somewhere else. So you told me this whole halacha for two people that are unclothed. That's the only reason I need it, because if they have clothes, then you could do with kinyan chalipin. I don't have to. I could give you my money with kinyan chalipin. I don't have to give you my fruit. It's much better for me to give you my money, and once you have my money, you use that money to redeem my fruit, instead of me giving you my fruit and me redeeming it. That we said is shtick trick, instead of just shtick. Says Gemara, an unclothed person, the leslay, he has nothing. He doesn't have real estate. He doesn't have clothing, and not only him, the other guy also. It's a weird story. It doesn't make sense that the Mishnah would talk about such a story. What do you see here? The reason why the Mishnah doesn't give us the idea that the owner of the fruit should convey his money to his friend through chalipin, because it doesn't work. This cannot be the object. You cannot sell money through chalipin. Not only can you not use money to make the chalipin, to use this instead of a pen at a wedding, but you cannot even give over a friend money through chalipin. It has to be done through other things, through agav or something. Says the Gemara of Rapap himself retracted, because Rapap is the one that came up with this halacha 5 lines from the bottom of Amud Beis. He's the one that said, even though you cannot use this as the kli for chalipin, but you could, just like you could do, he said, a svara. If I could convey a whole box of oranges, I could convey a whole box of money. And he says, no, you can't. How do I know he retracted? We just had this Gemara recently in Bava Kama, Daf Kuf Daled, not so long ago. Rapapa was owed 12,000 dinarim. Rapapa was a very wealthy Amoira. He used to sell beer for a living, and he had a lot of money. This guy owed him 12,000 dinarim. So he gave over this money, all the 12,000 dinar, to his friend Rav Shmuel through the kinyan of Agav. Here, it goes like this. Here's his house. It says Marna Goiner of Papa. Okay, fine. He gave Rav Shmuel the red area. Because what happened is like this. Rav Shmuel is going to Chizai. So Rav Papa says, listen, you're going to be there? Do me a favor, pick up my 12,000 dinner. Okay? The problem is that if he gets to Beit Chizai, the guy in Beit Chizai says, I'm not giving it to you, because you're going to claim that it got robbed, it got stolen, it got lost, and then Rav Papa is going to come back to me for another 12,000. So Rav Papa said, okay, I have an idea. The 12,000 is yours. So when you go and pick up the money, as soon as he gives you the money, it's yours. And you hear this, Reb Nachman? This trust over here. This trust. It's not. Rav Shmuel understands it's not his 12,000. He's going to have to come and give it to Rav Papa. How did he convey him the 12,000 dinar that in somebody else's house in Beit Chazai? Through giving him the doorstep, some area over there next to the door, that red area. Why didn't Rav Papa just go like this with a sudar? Go like this here. You Zev, take it, lift it up, and now all that money Beit Chazai becomes yours. Because Rav Papa is retracted. He says it doesn't work for money. You can't do chalipin on money. He would give, right. Well, yeah, he's Rav Papa in this case. Yeah. Says the Gemara. You mamish think I'm such a bad guy, I want to be Rav Papa. Please. What? It's much more complicated. Now you're giving away some of your real estate. For the rest of his life, that little part he has to step over. He doesn't have a shush to step on that as he walks in this house. No, it's like, why would you use agav? You could just do the simplest. How come at a wedding they don't use agav? How come tonight Zevi's not going to do agav? Take a pen, go like this, Shalom Yisrael, kinyan over. Agav, I see now you have to write down a star and this. I don't know how it works. How do I convey to you a small piece of karka? How? I'm sure it has to be documented. Eidim, this, that. It's a mess. He did agav, and because he holds that sudar doesn't work.
Thank you.
What?
He did documentation.
Of course.
Oh.
No,
because he had no choice.
He didn't want to do it.
He has no choice. He has no choice.
That's what he did.
No.
Says the Gemara.
Doorstep, not on the 12.
I get it. It's all one part of one deal.
No. 12,000 is a trust deal. The star is for the doorstep.
The doorstep is for real. The money's fake. And there's wink and he has to give him back the money one day. Says the Gemara that Rav Papa, and this is very interesting. We have to understand what this means exactly. Rav Papa went out to greet him. He was so happy. Simcha, Rashi says. He went out to greet him. I don't know if it's Rashi here. Rashi over there, I think, says Simcha, no? Not here. Over there. Look in the Likuti Rashi for a second. Sameach shehevi loy ma'osav. Rashi says, okay. Bekitzer, what's the big simcha? Because you could say not only is time money, but money is time. When you have money, you can learn more Torah. You don't have to work. Money is time. Yeah, do mitzvahs, be support. Okay. Says Gemara, I want to pause here for a second. My very, very good friend, Reb Noam Fix, worked really, really hard. I and many of you won't be zechus to do this in our lifetime, to write a sefer. I don't think I'll ever write a sefer. It's not something in my...
write it for you, though.
Ooh. Money is time. If you have the money, you can pay somebody to do it for you. But it's not the same thing. If you're half the price of his, yes. Anyway, well, it doesn't count. Somebody write. I could also... It's really Bornstein's son just got engaged. Mazel Tov. The one I met him at the house over there. Wow, beautiful. To Giddy Ray. Mazel Tov Sruli. What's his name? Tzvi? What was his name? Unbelievable. Okay. Mazel Tov Reb Sruli. Mazel Tov to your son. Zoicha. What? Menashe. You know what, Reb Sruli? I will fly in for bracha achrita, nothing less. V'chein Omar Ula. I want to say something. You know what? I'm online here. I want to make a macha a little bit of macha. I was gonna leave Reb Sruli a message. I'll say Barabim here. In Mishpacha magazine, somebody Mendy came over to me on Shabbos and says, "You know, you're in Mishpacha magazine." I read the magazine. I didn't even notice it. But okay, there's a picture of me and Reb Sruli. The picture that we took when it says over there that I came to his house to ask him to make a video for the campaign. Sheker. When I came to his house, I came just to see him. I had no inkling, not even a shemitz of a havamina to ask him for something like that. Nothing. Tomer came in after me, and he said, "You know what, why don't you do a video?" And I felt uncomfortable. I said, "You know what, okay, he's already asked for it, we'll do it." But Ikir Chosav and Asever, I came to meet Reb Sruli. That's why I came. I didn't even think about Be'emes, no havamin. Says they know why I came. He said, because he came to ask for a video of, yes, we took a video, and okay, fine. But that was afterwards. That wasn't the reason. V'chein Omar Ula. V'chein Omar, let's go. Ein matbea nasa chalipin. What does this mean, Rabbi Isai? Is anybody holding with me over here? What is ein matbea nasa chalipin? Going back to the beginning. You cannot use a coin instead of a pen, instead of a yarmulke. We're not talking about conveying objects here. We're talking about the kli, the instrument to do the chalipin. You cannot use a coin for that. 3 Amoraim say this. Says, so Reb Abba asks, Ula, beautiful sugi here, simple, but hagdama to Perikei Zunesha. And this is just to go to show you it's not that complicated. But last night I could tell you that people were getting, it's not complicated, serious, it's not complicated. It's geschmack also, it's business, this, that. People were confused there. In just a simple hilchas ribis, very simple. You unfortunately bump into your employees who you didn't pay. It's not good when that happens. So he feels uncomfortable. Give me, he looks at the change, he's right by the change guy, says, give me one dinner, let me take the dinner, and I'll pay them off. And what am I going to give you instead of that? Not only am I going to give you a dinner, you're going to give me 100, I'm going to give you back 103. Rabbi says, is that ribbis or not? Everybody says, yes, you're all wrong. It's not ribbis. Why is it not ribbis? Ribbis is when, let's see in a second. So, im yesh li mois mutter. If this balabas, this employer, has that money to cover in his house, it's mutter. Vim lav also, if he doesn't have the money, it's also. Oh. So maybe everybody here in the room thought that he's trying to borrow and pay back at a later time. But if it's at the same time, you give me 100 and I pay you 103 that I have in my house, but you get it right now, this moment, that's not ribbis. Ribbis is you're paying for time. Agernater. You're paying to extend, to lend me this money for a while and then I pay you. That's not what's happening. Over here, this is a mechira. This is a sale. I am buying 100 for 103. Why? Because that's how I want to do it. I like your 100, you want my 103, let's do a switch. Right now. That's not ribbis. Ask the Gemara, but if a coin cannot create chalipin, the Gemara understood, here's my package of money at home, you give me this, and this becomes yours. How? Through chalipin. He gave me this, I went like that, and now this bag becomes his. That's chalipin. But if this doesn't work, then it should be usher. Why? Because I'm only going to pay you back at a different time. It didn't happen simultaneously. The 103 and the 100 didn't transfer on the spot. Ishtik. He didn't know what to answer. So he himself explained to him. Reb Abu asked the question, explain to Ula. Let me explain to you. Dilma, I have an answer. Not only am I asking a question, it's a trick. I thought about the answer already. Here, what do you think about this answer, Ula? Dilma, we're talking about blanks. We're not talking about real money. They don't have the depiction of whatever it is on the coin. No, bepratutois. No, we're not talking about prutos. Tuteses. No. We're talking about blanks. The lekalayu it's blank. It doesn't have a depiction. And therefore, I view both of them as fruit. They're not currency. It's a bunch of valuable stuff, valuable metal, but not currency. Therefore, chalipin does work. What are you telling me? You can't use this for chalipin? You're right. This is money. This is the real deal. Actually, people are confused. This is chocolate. I don't know if people came over to me afterwards. Well, what happened to the 10 shekel? It grew a little bit. No, this is Chanukah gelt. Okay. Just in case. I don't want to chatz shalom. So, yes, it's probably more valuable in a way than, I think it has more, chocolate has more value physically than that coin that's worthless. But, inherit that. And that's why it works. Amalei Ula loved the pshat. He says, okay, great. Daikanami, the Ktanim, Yafa dinner traces. Yafa means it's worth Yafa. Not that it's a nice, not dinner Yafa in Hebrew. Dinner Yafa means a nice coin. Yafa dinner means it's valued as a dinner. What? Yafa, the Ktanim Yafa dinner traces. Like Ktanim dinner Yafa traces. Shmamina. We're talking about he's trying to do a kinyan kesef. He's trying to buy it with money, not with chalipin like you thought. And you're right. We're talking about a bunch of blanks. Even the islay, since he has the money in his house somewhere else, the employer has money. He just doesn't have it with him in the marketplace. He wants to pay them right now. So until find the maftech. So we had this yesterday. Rabbi said once again the concept of sa b'sa. You're not permitted to borrow a certain amount of wheat on condition that you'll pay back a certain amount of wheat, the same amount of wheat, the same amount, bowl for bowl. It's also why? Because the wheat could go up in value. But if I have some of that wheat at home, not the whole amount, some of it, mutter. Why? Because I'm allowed to do an immediate trade. 1 cup of wheat for your 1 cup of wheat. My cup is at home. I'm just waiting for my son to come with the key and unlock the safe. So mail over here also, I have money at home. We're doing a trade, and that's okay. As Tosfos, it's not okay because it's not a fair trade. I'm getting 103 and you gave me 100. That's ribis d'oraisa. I'm waiting for him to come later with the key. Isn't that ribis d'oraisa? Says Tosfos, no. Because the money changer gave you real money. And you're giving him back blanks. So in Mela, that's not considered ribis. I'm giving you something different. You're not giving him the same thing. Elomin acher. You're giving him some other type. In other words, blanks versus money. The dummy lemekach memker says Tosfos. Now it's similar to a sale, rather a loan. A loan means I'm taking 100, giving you back 103, but it's the same currency. No, over here it's a sale. I'm buying 103 blank coins for $100. That's different. Zogt the Gemara. Toshma. We had this sugya, mamish word for word in Kiddushin. If you weren't here, I feel bad for you. But it's a great sugya. The pashtus of the beginning of the Gemara, we understand that it means anything that is currency. Here, damim. Currency. Ba'acher, my new matbeya, coin. Ushmamina. Oh, nasa, sorry, I skipped. Here, Zev, give this to me. If you give me a coin, this, whatever, this becomes yours. Okay? That becomes yours. It says, if you use a coin, since I was in the coin, I went like this, it became chalipin, we did a chalipin. So what do you see over here? You see that I could use a coin for chalipin. It's a big problem. Everybody just said, you can't use a coin for chalipin. It's a coin. Zev just gave me this coin. I lifted up the coin. I used this as the instrument for chalipin, and it worked. No, this is the pshat. The exact opposite of what he thought. We're not using a coin for the kli, for the instrument. We're using anything else but a coin. Anything that you evaluate. This computer right over here, we are going to evaluate and see how much is this worth. A guy's going to say, this is 2 years old, it's shvachamaisis, it breaks down all the time. Oh, it's worth $100. You evaluate it, meaning anything in the world. Any item in the world has evaluation. Besides what? Besides money. You thought we're talking about money? The exact opposite. We're talking about everything but money. Bava Metzia, sponsored by Kidnovations in honor of my Uncle Reb Elchanan Pressman and the zechus for Akiva Simcha Ben Feiga on Maine. Official mitzvah motivators in honor of the limuds for sponsoring Svarim for the daily Ner Talmud learning. And by the Gewurtzman brothers, for yours and our grandfathers, HaChaver Moshe Ben Yerachmiel Alav Shalom, and Rabbi Eliezer Moshe Ben Reb Shema Zatzal. We're getting there. So the Gemara. Makes a lot of sense. It says afterwards, give me a good example of something that we're going to do chalipin with. It doesn't even talk about money. You thought it's talking about money, so then why is the example not even talking about money? The example is 2 animals. You exchanged a bull for a cow, or a donkey for a cow. Shmamino, huh? Barter. Yeah, barter. Fine. Says the Gemara, my Ketzad. The Gemara sometimes asks this question. What was your Havamina? Again, we thought that Zev gave me a coin and I went like this and I did a whole thing with money, and then I asked, give me a great example, and you tell me, the example is we bartered a cow for a bull. How's that example? We're talking about money, and all of a sudden you give me an example of a cow? You jumped to payros. So what was your Havamina that we're talking about a coin? Obviously we weren't talking about a coin. My Ketzad. I don't have to give you an example of a coin. I just told you, if Zev gives me a coin and I did chalipin, and what's another example? If Zev gave me a cow and I gave him a bull. I don't have to give you an example of coins when I already told you in the ratio what it's talking about. Okay, that's one shot. But that's great, says the Gemara. Why am I giving you an example of a bull and a cow? Because you're permitted to do chalipin. I wouldn't call it barter right now, but I'm doing chalipin with animals because the animal is a fruit. It's very interesting because Taisus talks over here that an animal could be a kli. How's an animal a kli? Carries, it plows your field. It's a tractor. It's a kli. Says Taisus, very interesting. So it comes out that on Shabbos you might be able to, not Taisus, but others say, if you're going to consider an animal a kli, which is very interesting, is my dog at home a kli? What about my parrot? Is my parrot a kli? Kli. If my plowing ox is a kli, so my singing parrot is a kli. That's my radio. So I like to go on Shabbos with music. He sings, it's a singing parrot. So you're permitted to carry a kli shemelach delisser l'tzarech gufay mekoymai, and this is l'tzarech gufay. I need the kli. It does me good. Maybe perhaps you could do it. Mamash chidushim, according to Taisus, that you could turn an animal into a kli. The Gemara calls him a pri over here, not a kli. Ayin and Taisus says the Gemara in al sorry. Elor Nachman do kli in al periloi, but according to Reb Nachman, you cannot do chalipin with fruit, with animals. My ketzad. What kind of example is this? So the Gemara comes with a bomb answer, something that hardly anybody in this room will recognize or know. There's a new kinyan. Here goes. Let me show you something that we don't know about. This guy on the left sells a bull to the guy on the right for 100. The guy on the right is kind of the bull. He does a kinyan. You hear, Mandy? There's something you didn't know about. So now the guy with the hat owes the guy on the left 100. Now the guy on the right, on the left, wants something from the guy on the right. The guy on the left, the guy without a hat, wants something from the guy on the right. So the guy on the right gives him a cow. Okay? The halacha is that's a kinyan. That's a kinyan. Would you ever know that? Where's the kinyan here? The guy on the left didn't lift up the cow. The guy on the left didn't do chalipin. The guy on the left didn't pay for the cow. He owed the guy on the right $100. And the guy on the right says, instead of you giving me $100, instead of me giving you $100, I'm going to give you a cow. That's a new chiddush. That's a new kind of kinyan. It's similar to chalipin, not really. And that's what the Mishnah is saying. Keitzad, here's the new chiddush. Hichlif shar bepara, chamar b'shar. Yesh damim sheim kechalipin, says the Gemara over here. There's money that works like chalipin. Keitzad echlif dmei shar bepara. The money, you didn't just trade a cow for a bull. You traded the money I owe you for that cow for the bull, or the whatever it is, the bull for the cow. Or the chamar b'shar. Why does that work? My time in the Reb Nachman, the reason why it works there is because I'm giving you money. I owe you money, I'm paying you with money. Why? How can I do that? Because in fact, money works as a kinyan midaraisa. Where do we see this? Says Rashi, I see this by Hegdish. It's mamish mefurish pasuk. I give you money, and I acquire from the Hegdish. I can redeem an object from Hegdish through money. The Torah says money works. Huh? Okay, it's the different lashon a little bit. But Rashi says, I'm just saying what Rashi. Okay, so so that's the answer why this story on the screen works. This idea that I owed you 100 because ma'is kainas. But we all know that you cannot go to the store and pay with money and think that it worked, that you acquired something with the money. Money doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? It's Gzeira Chacham said, but I want to pause here for a second. The Divrei Yisrael says, it says in the pasuk, B'tzelach Chachma B'tzelach Kesef. So Rashi says that with Chachma, learning Torah creates wealth. By coming to the daf, especially at hard times like today, Erev Chasana, missiles all night. Yeah? Seriously, this is not a joke. Guy slept less than 2 hours. I guarantee you, in the 2 hours he slept, shvach ha-maises, chassan in the house, all the guests in the house. He's here in the daf. Bamis, we have to take, I'm not joking, I'm not trying to whatever the lashon is. I'm not being machnif him. I'm saying, Bamis, we have to take. Rabbi Yisrael Halperin, I thought you turned off your phone. Do you know? Here, give me your phone. Let me do it for you. That generation doesn't know how to do it. Off. You know what off means? Give it to a younger guy next to you. Ashi, take care of it, please. Anyways, let me start over. The Daf Yisrael says in the pasuk, "B'tzela chachma, b'tzela kesef." Rashi says, "Chachma creates wealth." Learning Torah in situations like today, when there's misses all night and a wedding at night and guests and everything, creates wealth. So that's what it says over in the Gemara. Dvar Torah with divrei Torah, mois kainais. That's how you make money with Dvar Torah. So somebody said something yesterday. So I remember this Maisa. The Panavir Shirav, he came to America and he gave a speech. Everybody knew the Panavir Shirav. What a great speaker. See, a lot of people jammed into the marriage and he's talking fire, gewaldic. And there's a kid there in the audience. So he asked the kid, he says, Did you understand my speech? He goes, yeah, I understood that the Rav wants money. He says, he understood the speech better than anybody else. Says the Gemara. But I am not being miram as anything. The campaign is over, Baruch Hashem. Well, it's never over, but we reached, Baruch Hashem, seriously, unbelievable. We reached 1.2 million. The oil could still send money in all year long. It's Beseder Gomer. But that wasn't a remez. The remez was something else. Says the Gemara. So why in the world does the money not acquire? You need to do Mashiach. We always learned, not Rashi over here, but all over Shas, we always learned that if you say that money acquires, so I get my money for my wheat. Now there's a fire in my warehouse. I don't care anymore. I already got paid. So I'm not going to go out of my way to help you. Rashi over here sticks in a little bit more that if the price goes up, he'll benefit like that. Okay, whatever. The point is, we don't want the seller to gain over here or not work. So he said, just pull that wheat, make it yours, take it out of there, and then it becomes yours. Now, but why does this story over here with the 2 cows and everything, why does that work? I owed you $100, so how did the cow become mine? Because Umilsa the Shchicha Gazur Be Rabbanon. Rabbanon only said that money doesn't work. In a typical case, when you go to the makolet, you go to the store and you pay with money, that doesn't work. When I buy wheat, it doesn't work. This story that I bought a bull and 2 days later I decided, you know what, I'll take a cow from you. That's something that happens once every 300 years. For that, we're not going to make a gzeira. Uller Shlokish. What? We'll talk afterwards. I got to finish here. Why is it a mashkon? It's a chayv. It's a chayv. I'm using a chayv. Could I be mekadesh a woman with a chayv? Not. Yes. Different things. Now I'm using the chayv, the money I owe you, as the kinyan. Uller Shlokish the Omar Meshicha mufreshes min haTorah. Shlokish argues and says the opposite. Meshicha is the kinyan in the Torah. Haniche savar lo karav sheishes. This is great if you hold a karav sheishes that you can do chalipin with peres. Mitaris lo karav sheishes. So I'll say that it goes with chalipin. Eli savar lo karav Nachman do amar peres. Lo yav the chalipin. What if you hold a karav Nachman that you cannot use fruits for chalipin? You can only use a kli like a shoe. Umad beya lo kani. And the currency doesn't work. How can you explain the Mishnah? So obviously, Rish Lakish has the older Rav Sheshes that fruit does make chalib. Not very, very simple over here. Call a metaltalin koine zezeh. Metaltalin, I have a movable object, you have a movable object, we could trade and do chalib. Rish Lakish. Vafilu kismal imois, bekismal imois. Oh, so this is yours, Zev. I never worked somebody so hard in my life. TheChairMarket.com. We could go like that, and the king is chal. I get his bag, he gets my bag. Shalom Yisrael. Says the Gemara. Oh, so we have a big problem. What's the problem? We just said you can't do chalipin with money. Money doesn't work with chalipin. Either way, first of all, I can't use it as the object in the chalipin. I can't use it as the kli to do chalipin. This bag is anika. this bag is a Negro. We're doing a trade with two funny types of currencies. They're both not great. This bag, the government said it's no good. What happens when the government says something's not good? People use it anyway, under the table, black market. Here in Israel, government says you're not allowed to use cash, period. There's the cash law here, right? Over 6,000 shekel, you're not allowed to do any deal. You can't buy a car with 7,000 shekel. Illegal. Do people listen to it? Oh, yeah. A lot of people listen to it, and a lot of people that don't listen to it. People buy apartments with cash. They come with suitcases, 2 million shekel. So we're not going to get into it, right? Why? Because it's also, so it's even more exciting to do it. But sometimes it's the people in the city that want to use it. I gave a mashal, Doyle didn't like it so much. Here in Mabit Shemesh, 10 agurot. You can't use 10 agurot here. Who's going to take it, accept it? Yeah, the government said it's great. We don't like it. We don't even like half shekels. Maybe shekels. Yeah? You ever used a half a shekel in your life? You ever went to the store? What are you going to do with 10 agurot? Sometimes people throw it out here in Ramah Aleph. I don't know. Shouldn't. So it's Pesach Medina.
You don't pick it up.
Throw it out.
You don't throw it. It takes up time. It takes up a lot of room, and it's a mamish a waste. Says Gemara Tzricha, it's like a penny, right? Says Gemara Tzricha. We're saying a story that I have a bag of money that the government said I shouldn't use, and you have a bag that the city said you shouldn't use. The people said so. Very simple tzrichusa, and then we're finished. The government said don't use it, so you can't use it anywhere. But if people decide it's no good, in Yerushalayim they use 10 agurot all day long. I would say, but okay, since in another city they do use it, so it's considered currency. Currency does not work by me trading a bag with Zev. And if I say that the people decided it's no good, nobody uses it at all, not even under the table, not in the black market. But when the government decides it's no good, people do use it under the table. So therefore it's still considered perhaps a coin. You should know it's not a coin. Rabbi Say, have a wonderful day. Psuras Toivos.